Chicago is one of the biggest cities in USA, but it doesn't get as much hype as other cities in the US do. In this video, I'm gonna show you why Chicago is one of the best places you can visit here and show you where you can find the best food and some cool hidden gems too. So the best way to start your trip here is by trying probably the most famous food in Chicago, which is a deep dish pizza. And some of the most popular places here include Giordano's, Pecu's, but we're gonna be going into Lou Malanti's and let's see if we made the right choice.
I'm very excited. Honestly, the pizza was really good. I didn't expect it to be so much for a small pizza, but honestly, it's really worth giving a try here in Chicago.
Yeah, I thought the price was pretty expensive. I don't know if I would say it's worth it because it was about $25, but the pizza itself was pretty good. So from the pizza place, it was pretty close to Lincoln Park, which is where we went. It's named after Abraham Lincoln, which is about all I know about this place. But what I also know is that parking is free for 30 minutes, and then after 30 minutes, you have to pay $30 to park. We're just gonna be in and out of here in about 20 minutes.
There's a free zoo that you can go to here at the park, but unfortunately we did miss it because it closes at 5 o'clock, but it looked really nice, so if you have a chance, definitely go visit it.
So we have 9 minutes to get out of here.
Look how insane that line is.
This is the difference between free parking and $30 parking. Just made it, 3 minutes to spare. So now we're inside Water Tower Place, which is a really big mall here. It's about 7 stories. But we're not just here to do some generic shopping. There's a lot of really cool stores here and also a really cool museum we're gonna check out. And this mall is named after the water tower because it was one of the only buildings left after the Chicago fire in 1871. And the fire began in a small barn and quickly spread across the entire city. More than 100,000 people were left homeless because of the fire, and the damages were equivalent to about $5 billion right now. So right now we're in the Chicago Sports Museum, which is only $10 and is different from pretty much all the other museums, which are like $40 here.
In his natural habitat.
Let me show you why they called me Steph in high school.
Pulls up, three-pointer, bang! Bang!
That was actually a really great experience. It's a pretty short museum, but it's a really fun experience. You get to play a lot of games, and it's just a good time. I would definitely recommend that when you're coming here. Now we're going to Garrett's Popcorn, which is another popular Chicago snack, and it's on the same floor as the museum, and it's basically just a mix of caramel and cheddar popcorn. So a bag like this is gonna set you back about $7. And it's funny because we have clear favorites. I'm eating all the caramel ones and Katya eats all the cheddar ones. So after the mall, we just walked over here now to the Navy Pier and we're just checking it out. It closes at either 8 or 9 depending on what days you're coming. We're here around 8 o'clock and we thought it would be a bit more lively, but
it's very quiet. It's just a nice chill place to walk around just to end off your day.
Honestly, there isn't too much here. It's just an area that looks really nice and there's a lot of shops you can go to as well. Now we're just heading for dinner and trying one more famous Chicago meal, and that's chicken Vesuvios. So we just ate at Il Portolano's to have the chicken Vesuvio. The vibe of the place is amazing, but the chicken is probably a little overpriced. All the Chicago food we had today was probably a bit overpriced.
I agree. The all, but the vibes were definitely there.
And the rest of the stuff around this area was really nice as well. So that's cool to check out. But that's it for today. On time for a really big day tomorrow. We're staying in the Ukrainian Village, which has a lot of great Ukrainian restaurants, but it also means we need to get downtown. So we took their subway line, which tickets for it cost $2.50. But if you are a student, it's only 75 cents. And we're starting off the morning getting really high here at Willis Tower, probably the most popular tower here in the city. The experience here is so cool. You walk through and you learn a lot about the history of Chicago. You also learn about all the food of Chicago. And on this menu here, we're actually going to be trying a lot more of these famous Chicago foods. So stay tuned for that as well. So the reason people come here is because on the 103rd floor where you have the sky deck, and it's basically just a bunch of glass under. It's pretty pricey, it's about $30, but that's what you should expect to pay in bigger cities in USA. Why is it cracking?
Oh my god, this is insane.
We just walked over to Grant Park now, and a cool fact about this park is that when it was founded in 1893, they've mandated ever since then, no buildings will ever be built in this area. Right across from the Art Institute is the start of Route 66, and this is a route that goes all across USA, and it starts right here and it ends in LA. But if you keep walking north from Grant Park, you get to Millennium Park, and you see probably the most popular thing in Chicago. Wow, it looks a lot bigger than I thought.
It's so big!
So the bean was built in 2004. It's actually meant to be in the shape of a cloud and look like the city skyline is in the clouds. That's why it's actually called Cloud Gate, and it's not called the bean. People just call it that here. So something I actually didn't know about Chicago is that the first ever brownie was invented here. And right now we're at the Polymer House, which is the site where the first brownie was invented. Grabbed ourselves one of these, which is the original recipe.
For $8.
Yep, set us back a lot of money for this. So we'll see how good it is.
Okay, first bite of the world's first brownie.
I would say it's lighter than a regular brownie, not as heavy as ones we usually have, but it is good. Definitely not worth $8.
Is it better than mine?
No. On the Magnificent Mile, there's a Starbucks Reserve Roastery, and they show all the coffee being roasted, and also they have some testers here. So we ended up getting some coffee flights from around the world, and we didn't have to pay for this one because Katya has some gift cards.
And now taste.
Now what flavor?
I definitely taste the hazelnuts, milk chocolate, maybe molasses.
So from there we walked on the Magnificent Mile. It's pretty similar to 5th Avenue in New York, and it's just down Michigan Avenue. It's just a bunch of bougie stores you can walk into. Next up on our Chicago food list is a Chicago dog. Now we came into Portillo's, which is a really famous place in Chicago, and we're here to try the original Chicago dog and also the original Polish Maxwell sausage. Both are very popular foods here in Chicago, so let's give them a try. Those were some really great hot dogs. Both the Polish one and the Chicago style are worth the try, but we're definitely gonna need to diet hard after this trip.
100%. Everything has almost close to 1,000 calories per portion, which is insane to us.
Now we went over to the Fulton Market District. It's a really nice area with a bunch of bars, restaurants, really cool area to just chill out, have a nice meal.
It's a very vibrant area with a bunch of bars and restaurants. It's a really nice place to hang out in the evening.
Now we're just heading to this place called High Five Ramen. Entrance looks really cool, it's really hidden. Both of us love ramen, so we're really excited. Ramen was so good. This is such a nice little gem. The food there was amazing, and the inside of the bar was really great too. It just had a really great vibe in there. There's only like 12 spots in the entire restaurant for seating, so I'll definitely recommend getting here before you want to eat to be put on the waiting list.
Also, the quarter spice was pretty spicy, so if you're not amazing with spice, I recommend doing no spice at all.
End of another day here, time for the next one tomorrow. We're starting off the day by getting some city bikes, and the bikes are called Divvy Bikes. You use them through the Lyft app, and it costs about $16 for a full day pass if you want to ride it, and that's for unlimited rides for 24 hours, and you can use the bike for 3 hours and then you have to dock it and use it again. Or if you want a single use, it's about $1 for 30 minutes and then $1 extra for every 30 minutes after. Now we stopped at another place for breakfast to get a jibarito, which is another famous Chicago food, and it's just a sandwich made by the Puerto Rican community here in Chicago. So the place we want to try them is at La Bomba. And here it is. Instead of bread, they use plantain chips. And then there's just some tomato, cheese, steak inside. Let's give it a shot. There's some good garlic on top of the sandwich too. I think it's pretty good. Now we made it back into Lincoln Park Zoo. This time we're not parked, so we have all the time we want. And it's really cool because it's a free zoo and there's actually so many animals here you can see.
So the Pier Davis deer barely escaped extinction. So what the zoo did was they took in the last remaining deers. They brought them here to breed them, and several have already been put back into China into its wildlife. And here are the 2 remaining ones.
Actually a really cool experience, but now we grabbed another set of bikes and we're heading down the lakefront trail all the way to downtown, and honestly it's such a great experience, probably nicer than the Bloomingdale trail in the morning.
I like the Bloomingdale one better, but this one's still nice.
Went back to Navy Pier now, but this time we're here because we're looking for a place to take a river tour, and there's a lot of river tours here that you can take that are like $40–50, but if you go with shoreline sightseeing you can actually take a water taxi, which is going to be $16, much cheaper than all the other water cruises you can take. And we're taking the taxi here from Navy Pier all the way towards Willis Tower. Cruise was a really great time. It took us all the way from Navy Pier down towards Willis Tower, so we got to see the whole main part of the river, and I would definitely recommend that cruise.
I recommend this more than taking one of the other ones, especially if you don't care too much about all the buildings and you just want to take a ride. This one's definitely the option.
But that's where I'm gonna end this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out all my other US city vlogs or any vlogs around the world when you subscribe to my channel. Please like this video as well because it really helps me out, and I'll see you again in the next one.